All right, so let's discuss the evergreen skills that will always be in demand and that will always get you paid. So those are actually 3 skills. Those 3 skills are sales, marketing, and managing people. Quick financial disclaimer, the content on these slides is for educational purposes only. This does not substitute professional financial advice or consultations with financial professionals. This information is to be used by users at their own risks. It's not just to protect me, but it's to protect you. Sales is a fundamental skill. You are always going to be selling something, even if it's yourself. If you're presenting yourself at a job interview, you're presenting yourself to a girl, there's always some sales skills involved with winning. And so you need to be able to use these sales skills over and over and over again. This is a fundamental skill. Everyone should do sales. I highly suggest if you're young and you're listening to this, get into a sales role. Even if you're studying, get into sales. Read some sales books, go on YouTube, research the sales skills because sales is super important. Now, the landscape of sales has changed over time. So in 2013, 10 years ago, 82% of buyers did not want to talk to a salesperson. Today, that number is over 92%. So sales has this bad connotation as being slimy, as being way too aggressive, but people have lost the sight of what true sales is. True sales is standing shoulder to shoulder with the prospect, looking at the problem, taking out a sword, and attacking that problem head on. So you're helping people. It's key to remember that these people who get on the phone with you, they got on the phone with you because they know and they recognize and they said out loud that they have a problem. There's a deficit between where they are and where they want to get to. So always keep that in mind. If you ever make a sale and you think, aha, then you're doing it wrong. You actually want to help the prospect. So remote selling is actually the primary form of selling. So people are doing it on the phone now more than ever. And you want to provide rabbit hole experiences. You want to really get down into the problem, really make them feel heard and understood. And you want to make it really easy. You want to make the conversation flow because friction kills conversion. So there's this really powerful book I read called The Sales Acceleration Formula. It's in the Plus Ultra library. Check it out. So the guy who wrote this, Mark Robridge, he's the guy behind the sales efforts at HubSpot when they first started out. Super powerful book. I want to emphasize again that sales is a necessary skill and you always want to picture it as helping the prospect. No one likes a sleazy, aggressive salesperson. Now, there's many objections you're going to face as a salesman, but these are the 3 most common ones. And if you can get over these objections, you would literally live life on easy mode. So the first one is the price objection. Now, this is the objection you're going to come across most frequently, and it's because all purchases come with some sort of financial risk. So if the prospect is really hung up on the price, they say something like, that's more expensive than what we hoped, then you need to recognize that you didn't do a really good job of explaining the value behind the product. So for instance, you see the picture of the Bugatti Chiron in the bottom there? That is a car that's priced at $3 to $4 million. If I were to communicate something and say like, hey, listen, we can get you this Bugatti at 300 grand. Even if someone doesn't have 300 grand, they know that this car is valued at $3 million. They're going to go out, to the family, they're going to go out, get a loan, they're going to do everything they can to get that car because they know that the value is so much more than what I'm charging. That is what true business is. You should always have your products and your offers deliver so much more value than the actual price. So Alex Hormozi says that you want to do it around 10x. So whatever you're offering, say I'm offering a $1,000 product, it should really have $10,000 or more in value. You should want to make it really easy for them to say yes. That is true business. So you got to think about how to demonstrate that value. So social proof is really important. Showing that people have made back that money after using the product, like really show how much value is in this product. With this and the other 2 objections coming up, you really want to get them to say the word yes early and often before the big ask. So really leading them with questions that make them say yes a lot really opens them up to the big ask later on. So you really want to practice active listening, repeat back what you hear, validate the prospect's concerns because they're legitimate, ask follow-up questions, leverage that social proof we said, set a specific date and time for the follow-up. So you always want to get a follow-up on the phone. On the call, you always want to get a follow-up. Always, always, always. So coming back to the price objection, if they say, all right, but your competitor is much cheaper, you should say something like, why do you suspect that they can offer you a much cheaper price? And make them realize that what they're offering is an inferior product. Also, don't forget, most of the time you can finance the product. So you can say something like, if I could offer this to you at 1/3 of the cost, could we have a deal today? Like make it really hard for them to say no. And that way you can attack the price head on, show them that it's not really that big of a mountain to climb and help them actually address the problem. The next common objection is the trust objection. So there's 3 levels of trust. Their trust in you, their trust in the product, and the trust in the company. If they say something like, yeah, that sounds good, but I've never heard of you guys before, then it's going to be pretty hard to sell. But if you're prepared for this objection, then you can really get around it. So in an inbound sales conversation, the prospect will have likely interacted with your content and be familiar with what you and your organization are in some way. So this objection could be overcome by jogging their memory, let them know about some of the stories and posts you've had, some of the social proof you already talked about, and just nurture them a little bit. But not all conversations are inbound conversations. So for those cold outbound conversations, they genuinely never heard of you. So it's at this point you need to double down on the value you provide with your elevator pitch. Be sure to emphasize the authority your organization has in the market. Mention how you've helped a similar company like theirs and provide case studies. It's really important you build up case studies. And remember that trust comes from competency and character. The third most common objection is the urgency objection. So they'll say, yeah, but this problem isn't really important for me right now. Most of the time that's bullshit because they got on the phone with you. They communicated that they have a lack, they have a deficit in this, and your solution can help them solve it. So listen closely and determine if their response involves concrete timing issues or just vague excuses. If they're doing backflips to justify inaction on a real pain point, then you have an opening. So one way to do that is to ask them to elaborate why it's not important or which competing priorities currently have their attention. So you can say something like, what would need to happen for this to become a priority? Or if they're trying to get off the phone and dismiss the conversation and say something like, just send me an email, you can be like, all right, but just so I know what to include in that email, can you tell me blah, 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 blah. So make them stay on the phone and communicate exactly what their objection is. Why can't they commit to the moment right now? And actually, Alex Hormozi has a really good comeback for this. When the prospect says, yeah, I just need more time to think about it, he always responds with, well, really, you don't need more time. You just need more information, right? And I'm your only source of information. So just tell me what it is you need more information on and I'll be happy to provide it. So they have no more workaround. They have to get through you. So these are the 3 common sales objections and how you can handle those. I also highly suggest you explore sales frameworks. There's the MIDIC sales, which is huge now, and then the closure framework, which is the one that Alex Hormozi uses. But just going on a sales call and raw dogging it is not the way to go. You want to have some sort of structured framework. And you'll notice that both of these frameworks, they start off with metrics like concrete metrics and credibility, and then they work their way into identifying the prospect's pain points and communicating those pain points and using social proof to show that you've addressed those pain points before. And so pick a framework and stick to it. Sometimes it's really good to start off with a sales script if you've never done this before, but the sales script and the sales frameworks, they're used as a framework. There's always wiggle room in between them. So you don't want to sound robotic, but it's absolutely crucial that you start with some sort of structure. So for people who are unaware and brand new to sales, there's actually a very popular 2-touch system. So you have something known as appointment setters, and they typically get paid 5% commission. And then you have your closers, which get paid 10% commission. There are 2 types of sale processes. There are in-person sales, like door-to-door sales, car sales, all those types of sales. And then there's automated/online sales. Now in this 2-touch sales system, I have done both. I started as an appointment setter, and then I started transitioning into a closer. Now, there have been a few times where I did both. I set the appointment and then I closed them too. So I got paid 15%. And the largest offer I've ever closed was a $40K offer. So I would get paid $2,000 for setting the appointment and then $4,000 for closing. The amount of effort to close a $4,000 product is the same as closing a $40,000 product. There's just more zeros there. So I highly suggest you tap into your network, find people who have a high ticket product to sell, and 5% is 5%. 10% is 10%. So you might as well charge 10% of something that is much more high ticket because you're going to learn a lot through just selling and you're going to develop a muscle that is always going to be in demand. People need to close these high ticket offers always because any kind of offer more than $2,000 is considered high ticket. And for those types of offers, people are not really comfortable giving their credit card online and closing them most of the time. So you need to close these people on the phone. So people need salespeople who are familiar and comfortable with these situations to close on the phone. And the key to a good and smooth sales process is building rapport. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. The first person you need to sell is yourself. I have never sold something I never believed in. You have to believe in the product. You don't want to be an unethical salesperson. Remember that sales, true sales, is actually helping the prospect with their problem. Oftentimes, the best salespeople are people who have consumed that product or service before. They themselves are a product of the product. Now, as far as building rapport with the prospect, as long as there's rapport, one person will influence the other person if they have more certainty. When 2 people engage in a conversation respectfully, then the person who has more certainty will always influence and always convince the other person. Always, 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 always. You have to build rapport to get there. And as long as you're more certain, then you will close them. Always. You don't want to push them towards the solution. You want to pull them towards the solution. So that visual of having a sword and being side by side with each other, you should really view sales as a service. So when you're talking to these people, especially if it's a Zoom call, you want to mirror them. You want to match them. If they're talking really loud, really fast, then you should match your cadence like that as well. If they're speaking really slow, then you should speak really slow. You should really communicate with them on a human level. Remember, this is rapport, not report. You want to focus on getting closer to them, being more involved, really understanding their pain points, rather than just getting the facts, getting their emails, and then just asking them for money. This is building rapport, not a report. Now, the second evergreen skill is marketing. It is not build it and they will come. You need to be able to communicate your product, your service, your offer to people in a way that they feel heard and understood. So that is where marketing comes in. $100 million offers. This is in the library for you to consume absolutely for free. But these are the 4 components of building a grand slam offer. So when it comes to price, you do not want to compete on price. It is a race to the bottom. So you never want to slash your prices. That's not going to help you ever. You actually only want to raise your prices. And you only want to raise your prices when you increase the value first. By increasing your price, you increase the emotional investment in the buyers. They're more invested in getting results, and you attract more action takers. Those who pay the most attention. There's actually a blind wine test that was done where they put the exact same wine out to people and they put different price tags. And people almost overwhelmingly judged the more pricier wine as being more tasty, more delicious. But it was the exact same wine. So we all have a type of bias towards higher priced items. People want to buy expensive things. They just need a justification for it. The second component is value. So look at the value equation at the bottom there. To increase the value of a product, you want to increase the numerator. So those 2 values at the top. So the dream outcome and the perceived likelihood they get that perceived outcome. So if you can increase those 2 and also decrease the bottom 2. So you want to decrease the time delay between when they buy and when they get their achieved outcome. And you want to decrease the perceived amount of effort and sacrifice. If you can do those 4 things, then you're going to get a higher value. The third component is guarantees. Some people will take advantage of your guarantees, but it'll be offset by the total amount of sales you're going to have. So you can have unconditional offers. You can have conditional offers, such as long as you take this next step, you're going to have the guarantee. Or you can have anti-guarantees, which is something like all sales are final. Or you can have implied guarantees, which are like performance-based, like revenue share or something like that. Get creative with it. Make the first 30 days, for instance, an unconditional guarantee, and then you can have some kind of conditional guarantee for the next 90 days. And then there's naming strategies. So Alex Hormozi suggests using the MAGIC framework when it comes to naming your offer. So you don't have to use all of these, just use 3 of them. So the M is magnetic. So create a magnetic reason why this offer exists. So for instance, wisdom teeth removal party or back to school sale. Then the A in MAGIC is the avatar. So you want to name the ideal avatar. For instance, moms in Wisconsin or blue belt jiu-jitsu players. Then the G is goal. So you want to give them a goal. So for instance, pain-free or bikini body. Just have the goal communicated in the name. The I is interval. So give them a time interval. So for instance, 21-day fat loss camp. And then the C is the container word. You want to make sure that the container word is a bundle of a lot of things, showing it's a system and it cannot be commoditized. So for instance, challenge, bootcamp, accelerator, summit, reset, all these are container words. It makes it much easier to sell your offer. Now, if you can, it'll be better if you can rhyme. So for instance, you can have the business thrive deep dive, or you can use some kind of alliteration like debt detox. That's just the cherry on top. I highly suggest you read this book. It goes into the strategy of using upsells, downsells, raising the price, adding new products, bundling, all that. It's a really powerful book and it's available for you for free in the library. So at the end of the day, the key to making a lot of money in business is to just add more value than everyone else. Deliver raving fan impeccable service. Follow up and get referrals and convert them. Follow up any cancels or declines or anything negative that happened, any negative experience. Follow up, show them that you give a shit. Also, you should constantly be thinking about new offers, new ways you can serve your audience. So increase the frequency of purchases, increase the products and services you sell, increase your client retention, and increase your client reactivation. These are all ways for you to add more value to your business. Also, when it comes to marketing, you can get paid for exercising that marketing muscle. Become an affiliate for your favorite products and services. For instance, I'm an Amazon affiliate. If someone buys anything on Amazon using my link, I get a percentage of that. I'm an affiliate for Spartan Gum, the mastic gum. I'm an affiliate for my really good friends at Based Balm, which is the beef tallow balm. and I just get paid for promoting products that I use and believe in. So by doing that, you can really practice and really see the inside worlds of affiliate links, and you also build a relationship with these brands. Also, you should consider building your own affiliate army, people who promote your product and services for you. So you can go into something like Upfluence or Modash, and you can access millions of creators who can offer a partnership with your brand and really grow and use your untapped potential. Unlike Upfluence, Modash has a full access free trial, meaning you can try it out completely for free for 14 days. But Upfluence has a broader feature set overall. They have extra features for building affiliate programs and such. Typically, an affiliate commission is between 10 and 30%. Now, really quickly, let's distinguish these two evergreen skills as the medium and the message. So there's two main mediums, two main channels to push out your marketing. The first is through speaking. So to get better at this, you want to watch talented, charismatic speakers such as Craig Ferguson or Andrew Tate. And then the second channel is through writing. So look at powerful marketers who use writing, like Twitter and stuff. So subscribe to their newsletters, follow them on Twitter, So an example of really powerful writers are people like Alex Hormozi or Dan Coe. So this is the medium, speaking and writing. And then the message is divided into those two regions, marketing and sales. So when you're going through your feed, notice what captures your attention. Notice the hooks, notice the video editing, notice everything that captures your attention. That is the marketing side. So I suggest you create a folder on Instagram just for marketing and just identify the content that captures your attention. That is good marketing. Then on the sales side, when you actually go through a sales funnel and you buy something online, I want you to save that as well, create a folder, and notice the copy. Look at the sales copy. Look at the captivating ads that worked on you and study that. Now, the third evergreen skill is managing people. But as you'll notice in the next module, managing people is really a social skill. So it's going to be purple. So in the social modules, we're going to talk about gender dynamics, how to get a girl, how to maintain a conversation with people, how to befriend anybody in the world, and also power dynamics like office politics, getting what you want out of people, how to influence people, how to persuade. These are all social skills. So this is an evergreen skill, of course, but it's going to be covered more in depth in the social mastery modules. But I will quickly say that if you want to become incredible at managing people, these are the 3 soft skills you should learn. First is coachability. So coachability is an individual's willingness and ability to seek, be receptive to, and act on constructive feedback. So I've been in some pretty aggressive professional situations where people are yelling at you. There's a lot of hectic chaos. Your ability to not take criticism personally and understand it's not personal and react positively on top of that is going to reward you tenfold. Managers notice this, but also when you become a manager, you should be able to seek out people who are coachable because those people tend out to become much more efficient leaders and much more efficient workers. Then the second skill is decisiveness, which is the ability to make decisions quickly, confidently, and effectively. So you as a manager, you have to be able to work without distractions. You can of course course correct, but you do that after taking a decision. Remember, success loves speed. So decisiveness is a super powerful skill to develop. And then the third top skill for managing people is adaptability, which is the ability to adapt to new conditions. So practicing adaptability may include how you are able to respond quickly to changes. For instance, new managers or coworkers have differing or new ideas of how work can be done. How do you manage that? So these are the 3 pillars for becoming an excellent manager of people. Again, we are going to discuss this, and particularly its role in power dynamics in the social mastery modules. So your homework for this module, the Evergreen Skills, is to make a list of the top 10 products or services you use daily. And you want to reach out to those brands until you get one to say yes to you. When you get one of them to say yes to you, it might take more than 10 reach outs, but get at least one of them to say yes to you. When you get them to say yes to you, sell for them. Either through affiliates, content creation, product exchange, offer them some kind of relationship where you are selling for them. Feel free to use my email script from the module before, the digital economy module. And by doing so, you're going to start monetizing your life. So this is your homework for this module. It's a brand new way to engage with the internet. You should start monetizing your lifestyle. It is a game changer. All right, guys, I'll see you in the social mastery modules. Peace.